Clara kept a journal every day for 11 years. Not because she was a writer, not because she had interesting things to say, but because routine was the only thing that made her feel like herself. Same coffee, same window, same pen. Every morning without fail. Until the morning she opened the journal and found an entry she didn't write, dated 3 days from now, in her handwriting. Clara Marsh was 34 and unremarkable in the best possible way. She lived in a one-bedroom apartment in Portland, Oregon. She worked remotely for an insurance company. She had a cat named Fig. She ordered the same takeout every Friday. She had kept a journal since she was 23, a black hardcover notebook, one per year. She bought them in bulk. She wrote in the same blue ink. She never missed a day, not during illness, not during travel, not during the year her mother died and she could barely speak. The journal was the one thing she trusted completely, which is why, on an ordinary Tuesday in October, what she found inside it felt like the floor disappearing beneath her feet. She opened to the next blank page, the way she did every morning, and it wasn't blank. 3 pages had been filled, in her handwriting. Her exact loops, her exact pressure, the way she always underlined dates twice. Dated Friday, 3 days ahead. She read it slowly. It was mundane. Groceries from the store on Burnside. A phone call from her sister. Fig knocking a glass off the counter. Rain in the afternoons. And then, at the very bottom of the 3rd page, "Don't go to the window at 11. Did you write that? I don't remember writing it." No explanation, no context, just that line sitting at the end of an otherwise ordinary account of a day that hadn't happened yet. Clara closed the journal, opened it again, still there. She checked her hands. Her pen was capped on the desk exactly where she left it the night before. She told herself the obvious things. She had sleepwalked once years ago, during a particularly stressful period at work. She had woken up in the kitchen with no memory of getting there. The mind did strange things under pressure. She had been tired lately, more than usual. She must have written it herself, half asleep and forgotten. The handwriting was too accurate to be anyone else. The details too specific, her sister, her cat, her grocery store. No one else would know to write those things. She made a decision. She would not think about it. She would go about her week normally. And if Friday came and went without incident, she would accept that her exhausted brain had played a trick on her and move on. She was almost convinced. Until Wednesday. The groceries were first. She hadn't planned to go to the store on Burnside. She preferred the one closer to her apartment. But the closer one was closed for renovations, a sign she hadn't noticed before, and she found herself at Burnside without quite deciding to go there. She stood in the aisle for a long moment. Then she bought exactly what the entry had listed, not because she planned to, because it was what she needed. She drove home without the radio on. Thursday. Her sister called at 4:17 in the afternoon. They hadn't spoken in 6 weeks. There was no reason for the call, her sister said so herself. "I just had a feeling," she said. "I don't know, I just thought of you." Clara kept her voice level through the entire conversation. She did not mention the journal. After she hung up, she sat on the floor next to Fig and stayed there until it was dark. That night she opened the journal to Friday's entry and read the last line again. "Don't go to the window at 11. She told herself it was coincidence. Groceries and a phone call were ordinary things. They happened to ordinary people every day. She had simply written them down in her sleep, predicted the mundane, and her brain was now constructing meaning where there was none. She set an alarm for 11 p.m. She told herself it was to prove nothing would happen. Friday. Fig knocked the glass off the counter at 7:43. It shattered on the tile exactly the way Clara had imagined all week without meaning to. It rained from 2 in the afternoon until just after 9. By 10:30, Clara was sitting on her bed with the journal in her lap. She had read the last line 14 times. She knew what it said. She knew she wasn't going to the window. At 10:58, Fig stood up from his spot at the foot of the bed and walked to the window in the living room. He sat down in front of it the way cats sit when they see something outside, very still, ears slightly forward. Clara watched him from the hallway. She did not go to the window. At 11:03, Fig walked away and began grooming himself on the couch. She never found out what he saw. On Saturday morning, Clara opened the journal to write her own entry for the day. She found that Friday's pages, the ones she hadn't written, were gone. Not torn out, not smudged, gone in the way that pages go when they were never there. The binding was seamless. The page count was correct. There was no evidence of removal, just her last real entry from Tuesday morning and then blank pages after. She spent an hour going through every notebook she'd filled over 11 years, looking for the Friday entry, looking for any entry she didn't remember writing. She found nothing. She sat with the blank journal for a long time. Then she did the only thing that felt honest. She picked up her pen, and she wrote in her own words exactly what had happened: the groceries, the phone call, Fig and the glass, the window at 11. At the bottom of the page, without fully understanding why, she wrote one more line. I don't know if I wrote this first, or if reading it made it happen. She capped her pen, she closed the journal. And then she noticed something she hadn't before. On the inside cover, the page she'd had for 11 years, the page she'd looked at 1,000 times, there was a line of text she had never seen. Very faint, like it had always been there, waiting for her to be ready to read it. You were always going to find this. Clara still lives in Portland. She still keeps the journal. She still writes every morning. Same coffee, same window, same pen. But now, before she opens it, she pauses, just for a moment, because she has never been fully certain whether she is about to write something or read something she already wrote. So let me ask you this. If every ordinary thing you did tomorrow had already been recorded somewhere, not by fate, not by God, just by you in a version of yourself you haven't reached yet, would it feel like destiny? Or would it feel like a door you cannot find the other side of? Clara never went to the window at 11. Some nights she wonders if that was the choice that changed everything. Other nights she wonders if she ever had a choice at all.